Oh my god, I forgot to touch on the most important topic when I was making that video, so I'm gonna have to do it in here. It's because I made the video twice. I forgot to click the record button when I was doing the first video. The first time. I talk about IQ and here I am, forgot to click the record button. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, okay, there is my theory. There is no method of playing League of Legends that can yield 100% win rate in every game. And so far, I've proven it to be true. And the get good theory is proven to be false. Get good theory is if you play perfectly, you win. It's not your teammates. False. Incorrect. Whoops. False. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so do not, for people that are thinking about playing League of Legends, do not waste your time trying to prove this theory wrong, because professional players cannot do it, hackers cannot do it, legends of the solo queue cannot do it. The only thing that might be able to do it would be AI or some kind of, I don't know, patch where some champion becomes overpowered for a brief period of time. I saw that happen with Tryndamere at one point in time when you had Conqueror doing true damage. I think it was something like that. I mean, Rangers could go into normals and he could just win almost every normal, no problem. But he did, I think, lose at some point in time. Because you have to understand, your teammates will cause you to lose. And that's it. Now, why is that relevant to Collatz Conjecture? Is because when a person is a mathematician prodigy, right, he goes into elite schools and they give them scholarship. The first thing they are told is do not work on Collatz Conjecture, because a lot of people are trying to, it's addictive to try to prove it, because, you know, it's like a lot of people tried and here you are, solved it, you know what I'm saying? But it's not worth the time. Okay? It's not worth the time. I know you're a smart dude or a girl. Use your talents somewhere where that effort is gonna pay off something. It's because that's what they tell the mathematicians, the wizard, you know, we're talking about the prodigies of maths. I remember that I was watching a documentary on some dude. He was like a very, very elite mathematician. And the first thing his professor told him is do not work on Collatz Conjecture because use your talent somewhere else. Right? Just it's a waste of time, basically. That's what he said. It's interesting, can be addictive. Mathematicians are cranking their head around it, but he said do not spend your time on it. That's what I'm saying, is that League of Legends, if you plan to play something, if you are okay with losing 40% of your games and that's not a problem for you, if you're okay with feeding teammates, if you're okay putting in the effort and then your teammates just cause you to lose the game, if you are the type of person that simply doesn't care, okay, League might be the game for you. Alright, but if you're a competitive person, if you are omega driven, if you really like control, if you really like to win, League is by far the worst game you can play. By far. Maybe League 1-on-1 in Aram you can play it, but it's very easy to get to 100% win rate. Trust me when I tell you this, because majority of the player base in League of Legends is disgustingly bad. Because there are so many positions, so many different champions, so many different builds, so many different ways to play the game. And because you specialize, I'll tell you how to win every single 1-on-1. You play Tryndamere, and most of the time you go Horn and Armor, and you win, and you just spam your Q to heal. You out heal every DPS, and because Tryndamere is over buffed, he still does more damage. Right? And there are special runes, but you can find on my channel 1-on-1 games, and you can see how I do it. But you have to understand, most player base are going to pick champions that are cool, that have good design, good lines. They're not picking to win the game. They are picking just because it's cool. So beating players that are not committed to excellence and winning is very, very easy in a 1-on-1 game. So that's what I'm saying, is that you're probably better off practicing a shooting game, because in there you can carry the game a lot harder than in League of Legends, because in shooting games you can stop yourself from dying by having quicker reflexes, or by positioning, or by surprising enemy, or by, I don't know, specific strategies. In League of Legends you cannot do it because there is no way to dodge the damage. It's a point and click system. When somebody points at you and they click on the attack button, that damage goes through, even if you flash, even if you go into the bush, because there are some mechanics where you have to understand, as soon as the animation has started, there is no way to cancel that attack. Because I already tried. Okay, maybe if I flash, like my idea was to play Vayne, and I can dodge the damage by becoming invisible, but that damage still goes through. Do you understand? So even though you can mechanically practice, you cannot dodge it. Alright? And that's a flaw in the game. That's just a flaw in the game. Design is just forbids it. And as a result of this, your impact on the game is very, very dependent on your teammates, because there are things like crowd control in the game. Right? So when the enemy blows all of the crowd control on you, you effectively are prevented from playing the game. You need your teammates to do something useful. And if they're not doing anything useful, you simply lose the game. And that is not your fault. It is completely 100% your teammates' fault, because they're just standing there picking their nose. And that's what I'm saying, is that do not waste your time. I already tried almost everything. I tried different positions. I tried different champions. The only thing that works is dodging, pre-selecting good teammates, making sure that the enemy team doesn't counterpick you, and then playing into the game where you can carry, and your team has a high chance of just decimating the enemy team. But the problem with that was, to get a lobby like this, again, because the player base is just so full of kids, and people just playing, running it down, just not being serious. It's very time consuming to get a lobby where those conditions are true, right? So like I said before, I mean, you could be dodging for potentially infinity. My upper limit was 7.5 hours, 92 dodges. I dodged 92 lobbies. I couldn't play a game. At this point I deleted, of course, because like I already proved everything in League, I have nothing left in it, so pointless to play. And I mean, I want to win all the time, so I mean, like, I'm not prepared to spend so much time dodging 92 lobbies. And again, I'm not very comfortable with the idea that I potentially could be dodging 150 times, because there is no upper limit to how many lobbies you can dodge. That's because the problem is, I no longer blame Riot for their algorithm. The problem is the player base is just full of people that are just straight up trolling most of the time. Most of the time. Now, they don't understand that they're trolling, because they're thinking, oh, I'm a mid laner, and I picked a mid laner, I'm not trolling. Yeah, you are, because you picked a mid laner that you have 0 proficiency in, or your win rate out of 6 games is 0. Therefore, you probably should not play this champion in a ranked where other people depend on your performance, and you have 0% win rate. That is trolling. But in League of Legends, that's completely normal behavior, happens every single game. So you end up with this random slot machine where whoever has the bigger troller just loses. And that's it, right? And you have this as well, this idea of like people just picking random champions and they smash them into each other. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know whether the champion is stronger at this point in the game, and you get this random outcomes. You know what I mean? That's why you have this slot machine effect in the game. Yeah, that's why I developed this one. As you see, you can just really quickly simulate League of Legends. These are your lobbies, and you can see just by the lobby whether you're gonna win or lose, and that's it. I'm assuming that you're a good player. I'm assuming that you watch your replays. I'm assuming you read the guides on your champion. I'm assuming you watch other streamers who play your champion, who explain how to play the champion and how to do all that stuff. But fundamentally what I'm saying is that you will not, it's a waste of time. It's just a waste of time. You know, if you want to play just for the crack, for the fun of it, fine, right? But if you're serious about winning, you know, you maybe want to go pro someday, I don't know about this game, you know. I don't think it's the right game. I think shooting games are superior to this. Alright? So, again, just like Collatz Conjecture, if you are, like, talented, if you're, like, smart, talented, you know what I'm saying? Do not waste your time in trying to prove this theory, because that's essentially what I try to do. I try to get to the level where I could be able to win every single game without depending on my teammates. Just straight up, just go and win. In 3v3 at some point I was able to do it, but not on high level. And only when Tryndamere was giga overbuffed. Then they changed it, they introduced like Thornmail into 3v3, and then your ability diminished. But in 5-on-5, impossible. Impossible. So again, use your talents somewhere else, because this is a gigantic waste of your time. Alright? Take care.